The 18th of September was Two-Face Idibia's birthday. Two-Face is one of the biggest music stars we have in Nigeria. And for those of you who are fans, you know that September arrived with a bang for the Two-Face Idibia family. It started with a whole lot of drama around him and his wife, a lot of family trauma, a lot of going back and forth, which played itself out online, and people were able to get a glimpse or take a peek into the inner workings of that family. As they say, a goldfish has no place to hide. And for those who might not be too familiar with Two-Face and all this, you need to know that Two-Face is a music star, a Nigerian music star, as I had mentioned. He is married. He has 2 children with his wife. But prior to marrying her, he already had children with, I think, 2 other women, one of who continues to remain a recurring decimal in his life. Her name is Peru Adeni. Now, this dear lady has had 3 children for Two-Face Idibia, 2 sons and a daughter. And his wife is somebody who has been in the picture through the other relationships, the other children. She is somebody who he was with before he met the other women that he later had children with. One of them has moved on, remarried. She goes on with her life. I don't want to mention her name here. She has chosen to stay out of the limelight. But the other one, Pero, has she has stayed in the picture through no fault of hers, I suspect. You see, while everybody wants to paint her out as the villain in this whole thing, my heart kind of goes out to her. No doubt, I'm a huge Annie supporter. I mean, she's the wife. I support her completely. But I kind of understand what could possibly be going on with Peru as well. Now, this is a lady who already has 3 children with this man, 2 of whom are sons. But in the midst of this all, while we keep giving Two-Face a pass, at best he gets, he catches a bit of flack for being a bit of a playboy. But the fact remains that what Two-Face is doing goes beyond. I think I've come to that place where I've come to view Two-Face as the quintessential player, the player's player. Two-Face is the kind of guy who's responsible for making the general society believe that women like men who treat them badly. Women like bad boys. Women like man we know they send them. It is not true. If it were true, men of God and pastors would not come under tremendous pressure from women out there. It takes, if you're a pastor and you are good looking and you are young, ask them, let them tell you the kind of pressure they come under. So there is nothing like women like bad men, women like men who treat them badly, no. But you see, the quintessential bad guy, the real player, will have 6, 7, 8 women sticking around and refusing to leave. Not because they all enjoy being treated shabbily, not by miles. He has succeeded in convincing each and every one of them individually that all the others are inconsequential and they are the ones that matter most. Oh, I'm getting somewhere, don't interrupt here. Let me get where I'm going to. You see, Two-Face went on Instagram to wish himself a happy birthday. In the middle of all this, he spoke about how he's not a saint. He has made mistakes. He's learning this, that, and the other. Yes, as you can see, that's the post there. I'll just leave it there and let you read it for yourself. And we can see the picture that he has used, which could probably be a throwback photo. I don't know when that picture was taken, but it's a beautiful picture of him and his wife, Annie, who have recently been at, have not really been in a very good place because of this whole issue of Beru. Apparently, at some point, he traveled to wherever it is she's based outside the country, and ended up spending the night in her house, and that's where the problem started and escalated. It is safe to assume that this is something of a public apology to his wife. Shortly afterwards, his wife also responded, calling him the love of her life, how they would love each other forever. And in fact, she went as far as calling him my mine. Okay, you can, that's, yes, that's the post right there too. Okay. Now, with this, you know, exchange between the husband and the wife, Nigerians who are particularly idle, because I don't know how else to qualify that kind of behavior. Nigerians who are particularly idle now decided to take it upon themselves to go and troll Peru online. To her credit, she has stayed out of all the drama and every. She did not say anything publicly, didn't say anything on her social media handles online. I don't know what's been going on behind closed doors. Probably, I'm sure there would be some, but she has kept her own views and opinions and feelings out of the public space. But this time, with all the dragging back and forth and everything, she couldn't keep quiet. She decided to speak up to. And again, to her credit, she did not go for Two-Face or his wife. She went straight for the trolls and told them what they need to look like if they want to come for her. That's it there on your screen too. So while this love triangle continues playing itself out in the media, online, on social media platforms and all that, I'll still reiterate that the only reason why, without having to know her or talk to her, or the main reason why Peru is still in the picture is because Two-Face has somehow given her the impression that it's okay and she can stick around. Yeah. There are many women who have multiple children before marriage and still wind up married when they know for a fact that that relationship is a closed chapter and there's nothing coming out of that. Even if they don't remarry, they live their lives. They move on with their lives, live happy, healthy lives, and move on. And at the center of the whole thing is how the man carries himself. I personally believe Two-Face has given Peru a reason to stick around, and that's why she's sticking around. You see, when Annie started complaining, and Annie too has been very good about this whole thing, she's been quiet for a long time, till this September, when I guess she couldn't hold it in again and she lashed out, and there was all this exchange back and forth with other family members and so on. As far as I'm concerned, because I'm a woman and I know how the average woman tends to reason, Two-Face is giving both women hope. This whole problem begins, and it can end with him if he wants it to end. But he's giving Peru hope. That's why she's still relevant in the scheme of things. I don't wish her any bad. It's not easy to find yourself in that situation. We don't know what he kept saying to her. We don't know how the relationship played out that gave her the confidence to have 3 children, even without marriage. Okay? There are people out there who will say, some women have children to try and trap men into marriage. I don't know about that one. It's not my business. I am not willing to paint Peru as the bad guy. I'm just not willing to do that. As for Annie, she's the legal wife. There are people that will tell you, all that on a rubbish, a paper and a certificate. It matters too. It matters. That paper you all think is so insignificant matters. It matters. So here on the one hand, you have the woman who has the 2 sons, 3 kids. And on the other hand, we have the legal wife, the legally married wife, who has two daughters. They both have an ace to play. One is holding valid documents of marriage. The other one has two sons. She's not the only one with sons, by the way. The other lady that had kids with him, I think she also had two sons, but she's moved on and gotten married. But because Peru is still single and Two-Face is still giving her hope, I think it would be fair to say that this whole mess that played out this September has not quite been put to bed yet. It has not quite been put to bed yet. Until Two-Face is able to get with the program, stand strong, stand firm as a man, and make up his mind. As far as I'm concerned, he made up his mind when he signed the dotted line. So all this back and forth and wasting the other lady's life, wasting her time, is cruel. He should stop raising Peru's hopes and stick with his wife. He's already married. Or if he knows that for whatever reason Annie is not who he thought she would be in the marriage, well, maybe he can make an attempt at divorce. Because Christian marriage does not leave room for polygamy. That's the sad fact, if you want to call it sad. There's no room for polygamy. So if maybe Annie is not meeting his expectations, she's not what he thought she would be, if you're looking for if you're looking for blame to give, if you want to make somebody look bad, there's always something you can find. You can always find something. My mother used to say that the day a man starts playing around is the day he will complain that the water you gave him to drink stuck in his teeth. So maybe the water Annie is giving Two-Face to drink now is sticking inside his teeth. We don't know. If that is the case, he should also free her. Fine girl. Fine girl. She's still young enough to move on with her life and probably remarry if she wants, or not marry at all and still live a very valid and happy life. So that he can go and be with Pero. But this whole thing of trying to eat your cake and still have it is destructive. He is going to make those women continue to see each other as rivals. If he's not very careful, they're going to indoctrinate their children to hate each other. And in the long run, there is no way this whole thing pans out as a positive for him in any shape or form. I wish he would quit, playing naive and pretending he cannot imagine how hurtful it would be. Annie does not have children with any other person. But let us imagine now that he was to find that she's actively keeping in touch with an ex. Not even going to the person's house to pass the night or anything, or just everything that is happening in her marriage, that is the person she pours her heart out to. That's the person on whose shoulder technically she's crying. The person doesn't even have to be in Nigeria. The person doesn't even have to be somebody she has seen in the last 5 years. If he is to get information or find out that somehow his wife has been finding it necessary to keep an ex she was particularly close to, still keep him in her life as a sounding board, the person that she goes crying to every time there's a problem between him and her, he wouldn't like it. He wouldn't like it. But he somehow expects her to be fully comfortable with the fact that this very attractive, very shapely, lovely looking lady who has had 3 children for him is a recurring decimal in her life, and she should just get to the program and be okay with it. How does that happen? Two-Face, you are getting older. Get wiser.